Hey everyone, welcome back to Anu Talk Show. Let me ask you one question, and this requires that you are honest with yourself right now. How many of you have a to do list that you check off every single day? You are posting content? Check. You are showing up? Check. You are checking in with your ads? Check. You are doing all the things. But at the end of the month, your bank account is still telling you a complete different story. Because here is the thing, checking off task is not accountability. And I know that might feel controversial, but being busy right now in your business is not the same as being accountable. And today I want to talk to you about the 5 areas you need to work on to build real self accountability in your coaching business. If you are a woman of color coach, you are an expert, you are a service provider, so that you are actually getting the results that you want in your coaching business and not just performing for productivity. Because most women of color coaches that I work with, they are not lazy at all. You are not undisciplined. You are actually the most hardworking people I know. You are the smartest woman in the room. You have many degrees, certification, master's, PhD. On paper, you are the smartest. You know how to work hard. But the way you were taught to work hard is keeping you stuck. And today we are going to break that down so that you can start working smart, not being trapped in that hustle culture and not seeing the results for the effort that you are putting in. So drop me in the comments if you feel like you're doing all the tasks but not really seeing the results reflected back in your bank account. So before I give you, so stay at the end, and in this episode, I'm gonna give you like 5 areas you need to work on. Before I give you the 5 areas, I need to ask you something first. Why did you start your coaching business? Why are you a coach? Why do you help people? Why are you actually building this business, which is not easy right now? It is not easy. The roller coaster that you are going through every single month, every single week is not easy. So, why did you start your coaching business? Let me know in the comments. And think about it for a second. Why did you choose to become an entrepreneur instead of staying in your 9 to 5? Most of you, when I ask this question, you will tell me freedom, right? You wanted freedom, freedom of your time, freedom of your income, freedom of choice, freedom of not hearing from your boss what to do. You wanted to be your own boss. You wanted to build something on your own terms. But here is what nobody tells you about being your own boss. When you were an employee, there was a manager, there was a boss, there was a structure. Someone told you what the priorities were for the week. Someone checked in on you on your progress. Someone hold you accountable. And if your work was not done, there were consequences, right? So if you have a project and it was not done at that timeline, there were consequences. So you performed. But now you are the boss, right? Like you are the boss in your company. You are the employee. You are the manager. You are in the marketing department. You are the sales manager. You are everything. And when you are everything, who is actually holding you accountable right now? Let me know. Probably nobody. And that is when things starts to fall apart. Not because you are incapable, but because self-accountability is a skill that nobody taught you how to build as an entrepreneur. And this is especially true for my woman of color coaches, expert coaches, because many of us, we were grew up in environments where accountability looked like punishment. If you made a mistake in school, you were punished. If you did not perform, there were criticism. You didn't get the promotion. So your brain has connected accountability with fear, with shame, and with not being good enough. So now in your coaching business, you avoid the very thing that would actually help you to grow, because your brain is telling you this is not safe to be held accountable. That actually resonating with you? Type yes if you recognize that pattern in yourself. So let's talk about the 5 areas you need to start working on to build that self accountability that you need as an entrepreneur to scale your business, to grow this business. So, the number one thing you need to have is you need to shift from task accountability to outcome accountability. And let me explain what I mean by that. Most women of color coaches that I work with, when I ask them, what did you do this week? They will say things like, I posted 5 reels, I sent 10 DMs, I did a live video, I wrote my emails. So they tell me a list of tasks they completed. And yes, that is discipline. And yes, that is needed, but that's not the accountability, because accountability is not what you did. Okay, again, accountability is not what you did. Accountability is what results did those actions produce. So, did those 5 reels you posted generated conversation, generated sales conversation with potential clients? Did those 10 DMs lead to you making an offer in the DMs and inviting them to book a call with you? Did that live video move someone from having questions, from being curious, from having those objections, to actually being ready to invest, to actually have a conversation with you where they want to move forward with you? And this is where it really gets uncomfortable for many of you, because you are using your task list as a security blanket. Means as long as I am busy, I am doing enough. As long as I'm checking things off, I am accountable, I am productive. But the truth is that you can check off every single item on your to do list for 3 months straight and still not close 5 more high ticket clients. So I want to challenge you right now. Stop asking yourself, did I do the work today? Stop asking yourself, did I work enough today? And start asking yourself, did my work today move me closer to make specific outcome? Because those are the two very different questions that will move your business forward. Because the one keeps you comfortable by checking off the task that you have, and the other keeps you honest because you are outcome driven. You are now looking at the outcome and you are questioning, okay, what is where, or what am I missing here? And your business needs you to be honest right now, especially if you don't have someone else looking and holding you accountable for generating the income and the impact and the outcome you want to make. So, I want to keep you accountable. Let me know, what is the outcome you are working toward right now? Drop it in the comments and be very specific. And with that, we go to the number 2, which is you need to have crystal clear, measurable expectation. And I really mean very specific and very crystal clear. So here is what I see all the time. A coach will tell me her goal, right? You tell me a goal and you tell me, like, I want to grow my business in the next 6 months. Like, I want to make more money. I want to have a bigger audience. And if you talk to me, I will actually stop and I will actually get specific, because that is not a goal. That is a wish. That is a hope. That is something nice you wrote down in your journal this morning, but this is not something your brain actually work toward, because a real measurable goal sounds like this: I will close 5 clients into my group program at $5,000 each by the end of Q3, right? And that will give you, let's say, 12K in revenue, in cash collected, or in revenue that quarter at the end. That is a goal that is specific, that is measurable, and you know exactly what the target looks like. You know the deadline. You can track your progress against it every single week. And this is where this connects to accountability, because when your goal is vague, you cannot hold yourself accountable, because there is nothing concrete to measure against. You will always be able to tell yourself a story about how you are making progress. Oh, yeah, I'm growing. Oh, yeah, I know it takes time. Or I need to be patient. And look, patience is important when it comes to entrepreneurship. But patience without clarity is just procrastination wearing a pretty outfit. So, the first thing I want you to do after this episode is to sit down, write your goal with a very specific number and a specific deadline. Not, I want more clients. How many clients? By when? At what price? How much total revenue does that give to you? Because when you have that level of clarity, suddenly your brain starts to filter, and you start to realize, oh, okay, those tasks on my to-do list actually does not move forward to that goal. So you will weed out all those tasks that are not actually helping you to reach that goal, right? For example, this conversation I'm having in the DMs is actually a distraction. Are you guys sending each other reels like for fun? Or the coaching call that you are doing is not actually aligning with where you are going. This is where real power comes in, because measurable goals force you to say no, and they force you to protect your time and your energy. And I know, as a woman of color, saying no is hard in the beginning, because we were raised to be helpful for everyone, to put them before your own needs. You were raised to be available 24/7. You were raised to not disappoint people, but your business cannot afford for you to say yes to everything. That is not actually aligned with the outcome you want, right? So, can you share? Like, if you are open, share with me what is your specific revenue goal that you have, and what's the deadline in the comments. Make it real right now. Let us know. And this is the one I'm going to, like, I know many of you need to hear, and you have to stop trying to figure everything out alone. I know, because you have been figuring things out alone in your entire life. And this has gotten you this far, right? So your brain is telling you, why would I change? Like, why would I change what works? I did it so far. I may be 30, I may be 40. I always did it on my own. I got my own bag. And now your brain is telling you, why would you change that? But here is the problem: what got you here will not get you there. Again, what got you here will not get you there. The same self-sufficiency that helped you graduate, that helped you to get the job, that helped you to start this business, that helped you to get the first clients, that same pattern is now the thing keeping you stuck at 5 to 10K a month, and won't help you to scale to 10 to 20K a month. And let me get really honest with you right now, because I went through this on myself. When I started my business, I thought I had to prove that I could do it all on my own, because that is what I was taught. Growing up in an immigrant household, you learn very quickly that you do not burden other people with your problems. You figure it out on your own, you handle it, you learn at a very young age to handle it, and you do not ask for help, because asking for help means you are weak. asking for help means you have to show vulnerability. And that belief almost costed me my business. I was sitting in my room in my parents' house, like trying to figure out Facebook funnels and ads and sales and content and all of those mindset shit that you need as an entrepreneur. And you know what happened? I went circles for months. I was burnt out. I was making the same mistakes over and over again because I did not have anyone to show me what I could not see. I couldn't see it. How? I am trying to solve the same problem with that consciousness I am having right now. How can I change it? I cannot change it. So at that moment, I invested in mentorship. And the moment I said, I cannot do this alone and I need someone's eyes on my business, everything shifted. Not because someone gave me a magic pill, a magic strategy, but because they gave me a different perspective. They started to give me a different way to run a business. They were able to see the gaps that I was too close to see. And they were able to point out the patterns I was doing in my sales call, I was doing with my content, where I was too emotionally attached to recognize. And this is what you need. Real accountability requires outside perspective. You cannot hold yourself accountable to a standard that you cannot even see, that you are not even aware of, that you are not even consciously aware of. You need someone who has already walked the path to tell you, hey, currently you are going in the wrong direction, or hey, this is the thing you are avoiding. Hey, this is the blind spot. We need to close, like, we need to break that pattern that you are doing in your sales call. We need to break that pattern in the rejection that you are receiving and making it about yourself, which is costing you more money, more time, more energy, and more peace. Have you ever avoided asking for help even when you know you needed that? When was it? Drop it in the chat. Which brings me to the next area, which is you need regular, honest feedback from the right people. From the right people, my friends. And I really need to emphasize from the right people. Like, it's bold, it's big, right people. Because here is what many women of color coaches are doing. Maybe you did that as well, because I did that. You are going to your partner, right? You are going to your best friend, you are going to your mom, your brother, your sister, and you are asking questions about what you should do in your business. Hey, do you think it's a good idea to raise my price? Does this sales page look good? Do you think I should launch this group offer instead of this 101? And I love your mom, and I'm sure she's amazing. My mom is amazing. She is the best. But your mom is not your business advisor. Your best friend who has never sold a high ticket offer, who is not in the business industry, in the online coaching industry, do not know how to evaluate your sales strategy. Maybe your partner is not an entrepreneur, um, but has a complete different career, does not understand why your messaging is broken or why your messaging is not converting. They do not understand. And this is not about disrespecting the people in your life. This is about understanding that your business or the business feedback needs to come from business minded people, people who have done what you are trying to do, people who understand the market, people who can look at your data like objectively and tell you the truth, not just to make you feel better. And this is what I teach inside Leverage 20. We do not just teach you strategy, we review your actual sales call. We look at your actual conversion data. We audit your actual content because you need someone to look at what is really happening in your business and give you honest and expert feedback, not your friend telling you, oh, everything looks great to keep going. That is not feedback, that is comfort. And you can go to your friends, to your family for comfort. But for growth, you need to have someone in your corner who tells you the truth in your face. And I want to be really clear about this. Your brain will resist the feedback. It will resist the feedback. Your brain will tell you, I already know what to do. I just need to execute better. And yes, execution matters in your business when you are going from 5K to 10, 20K a month. But executing the wrong strategy faster does not get you better results. It just gets you the wrong destination more quickly. So you need feedback from someone who can tell you not just to work harder, but to work smarter, to work differently. And this connects back to what I was saying about data. Remembering like why or about why you are obsessed with your data, right? Remember, like your feedback or the feedback that you need is what helps you to interpret that data correctly. Because your data might be telling you something important, but if you are looking at it through the lens of shame and guilt, you are not going to see the inside. You are only going to see the failure, which is after a while, you avoid looking at the data again, and we are in circles again. Does that make sense? So, if you have an expert in your corner, that person will help you to see the opportunity. And I've realized in my business very early on not to go with my business problem, with my money problem, with my marketing problem to my friends and family. I do love them, but I have realized they are not the expert who can help me to make the best decision moving forward in my business. Even if that means that will challenge me, even if that means that will put me in a discomfort or in an uncomfortable position, because only me can decide how to move forward this business, and only a mentor um, who knows the situation I am in, they will help me to make the better decision. Because obviously my friends and family wants only the best for me, they will only give me comfort, and comfort will never challenge your growth, it will never challenge where you want to go. So yesterday we talked about, like, I literally have it on my sticky note, like, you cannot change if you are not challenged. You cannot change. So it's so important that you have someone who gives you that expert level of feedback that you need in order to grow and expand your business. And with that, we come to the last area that needs refinement for self accountability. Is this one actually ties everything together, right? You must create a consistent review rhythm. Okay, a consistent review rhythm. Not once a month, not when you feel like it, not when you feel great, not only when things go wrong, or not only when things go right. Consistently is actually here the word, because accountability is not a one time event. When you started your coaching business, you started to be an entrepreneur. You probably have realized right now that this is not a sprint, that this is a marathon. This is not a one time event. So, accountability is not a one time event. It's a system, it's a weekly practice of sitting down and asking yourself these three questions. Number one, what was the outcome goal that I have set this week? Number two, what did actually happen? Number three, what do I need to adjust for the next week? Those are the three questions you need to sit down and you need to review, you need to journal about in order to figure out what is really going on in your business. And I want you to do this without judgment. Not, oh my God, oh, I only closed one client instead of three. I'm so bad at doing sales call. I didn't close anyone. Yeah, okay. So that you didn't close anyone, that is data. So what happened on the sales call where the person said no? What objection came up? Was was it the qualification issue prior, or is there something going on in your messaging and you still have a gap? Is there a timing thing that is going on? You look at it like the CEO looks at the business report, neutral to the business, curious and strategic. Because when you combine all those five areas, you shift from outcome accountability, clear, measurable goals, not trying to do this alone, getting expert feedback and consistent review, you are not just busy anymore. You are really building a real business with a real system. And that is the difference between a coach who stays at 5K or 2 to 5K and a coach who scales to 20, 30, and beyond. So if you are listening to this right now and you are thinking, okay, Anu, I have been doing the task listing and I have been trying to figure this out on my own. I have been avoiding looking at my data because it feels uncomfortable, and it will feel uncomfortable. Um, but you are not alone in this process. We still need to do the evaluation. And if you are telling, like, I have been getting opinions from the wrong people, then I want you to know that this is just a pattern and patterns can be changed. And this is exactly what we do inside Leverage 20. We help women of color coaches build that system, the sales system, the messaging system that takes you from grinding at 2 to 5K to making consistent 10 to 20K a month, not through more hustle, but through smarter systems and honest accountability. So if you are a woman of color coach, with an expertise, with experience, with real results, and you are ready to stop playing small and start yourself holding accountable to the outcome you deserve, send me the word leverage 20 on Instagram and I will get you more information about how we can work together. So I hope this helped you to see that you should go away from having a task list and actually implementing this outcome focused accountability list in order to see quicker, faster, and more results in your business. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.